Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Personality Pick, where we get to break down your favorite MMA Twitter, gambling Twitter personalities, get to know them a little bit more behind the scenes, not so much about the betting side. And we have a great guest this week, yet again, our boy, GordoGambles. Welcome to the stream, brother.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
No, thanks for taking the time. It's always a pleasure being on camera with you, being on these streams, breaking down cards, whatever it is. So I felt like it was necessary.
Oh, and man, we've been in the lab recently. We've been cooking up these plays together. So it's nice actually, getting the recording on. People can see how we are because I don't know, man. I don't know about you, but I think we got some decent chemistry here too, breaking down these fights, breaking down these slates. So I love talking sports with you. So I'm happy to be here.
100%, 100%. First thing, you got to shout out the chat. You got Mushroom, as
Love
always.
mushroom.
Thank you, brother. Keep posting those food pictures because you just get me hungry every single fucking day. Dude, have you seen his food pictures? Because
Oh,
it's
of
it's a
course,
work of
man.
art. It's a
It's
work
hard to
of
watch sometimes when I'm hungry.
art. And those pictures get me hungry just on its own. So wait, Gordo, how'd you get into MMA? Like what got you into the MMA scene?
Oh, the not only like my hero and my best friend growing up, my dad loved to watch fights, and he has been my role model, not through only my hockey experience, but through all of my sports, my daily activities. And we'd watch fights together. Being from up north, as I very proudly present everywhere, we watched GSP. And every time GSP would fight, we'd go over some buddies' places and watching the fights with my dad would be something I always enjoyed doing. And as I became older, I became more interested, and I really started to love the sport. I fell for Max Holloway. He's an absolute gem. I became a huge fan of watching it all, and getting to be old enough to bet and gamble. It really just took off from there as well. So I've been watching the sport from a very, very young age, all thanks to my dad, really. But I'm more of a hockey player. I'm not really a fighter, so I don't have that same experience of you. I see those kickboxing videos. You're doing great at that. But for me, it's more so a viewing pleasure for me, and something that I always love doing, sitting back watching the fights with my dad on Saturday. So it's more of a viewing thing for me.
Gotcha. So wait, how old were you when you watched your first fight?
Oh, I don't know actually. I know that we'd go over to some buddies' houses and watch some fights
Uh,
at some, like, let's say 12, 13. But I'm sure there were some fights I watched earlier than that. Again, not too engaged in it, but I remember watching the fight I remember the most memorably was Jones Gustafson 1.
mhm.
Me, my two best friends, and then all our parents sitting there watching the fights, and me being like, "Oh my god, this is so cool. Why did this, like, I don't," and I didn't get the whole impact of the fight. I didn't get Jones being so good. So I think that's the first fight I remember completely, like, bright lights and everything like that. So that was probably the most, like, set in stone moment. But I've been watching fights for a while, so it's always been something that's important to our house.
Yeah, see, for us, it was something uh, I wouldn't say frowned upon, but in our culture, like watching fights or being into the whole like fighting scene was just considered violent and like, no, you can't watch this. Like, even my parents would get mad at me sometimes for watching WWE. They're like, no, they were scared that I was gonna repeat whatever they're doing on TV. That was a saying. They would say it in Arabic. They're like, no, you can't watch that because you're just gonna do whatever they're doing on the TV at school, and you're gonna get expelled and suspended and never go back to school. You're gonna be homeless. Like, dude, they were all serious about it.
I bet you it probably wasn't a good thing too. And I wasn't always the nicest hockey player. I drew myself a fair share of penalties too. So I'm sure watching the fights didn't help. But you know what? Where I am now, I think you're able to distinguish yourself away from it. I'm not going around punching people at a party or anything, right? So for me, it's all viewing pleasure. But yeah, it was something that I was lucky enough to watch with my dad, and I still do to this day. So I love it.
So wait, what have you ever been in a full on, because I watch hockey and I've seen like the full on like team fist fights where it's like you get one player and you just go at it, everyone in the team, even the goalies. Have you ever been in one of those?
Oh, full tilt. So in like that's professional hockey. And again, I've played hockey my whole life. I haven't never been to the point where, you know what, like I'm a professional player getting out there. If you fight in the junior leagues, you get suspended a lot of time. So I've gotten in my fair share of scraps, but never gloves off going at it. It's more so these little scrums, big hits, all that kind of stuff. But hockey's a
Mhm.
physical sport, so it's always been fun to both watch and play. But it's it never really an actual a tilt like that. I kind of quit before I got the opportunity to do that.
Okay, yeah, because I know a couple of hockey players too, and they describe the amount of physical pain they're in after every game. And dude, hats off to you guys because that's a lot. I'm out here complaining about jujitsu like soreness, and you guys are getting full on hit, and you guys drop to the ice, and the ice is tough. I remember I like had a micro fracture in my tailbone. I was ice skating, and I just fell straight on my ass, fractured my tailbone, could barely like sit down or walk. It was so hard to like get up off of bed, and for you guys just to be able to skate around and fall like it's nothing. Damn. Props.
So do you know how to skate?
Barely.
Barely.
Still fall on my
I'll tell
ass.
you what, man. If we ever end up like, so my job aside from betting these sports is teaching people how to skate, teaching people how to play hockey. So I'm always at the rink. I got you one day.
Oh man, that's gonna be a tough task for me. I haven't skated probably in like 4 years, 3, 4 years. It's been a while, just because I have that constant fear of falling on my tailbone again. And
You know
that
what?
pain was unbearable.
For me, the constant injury was I hurt my wrist a bunch of times too, but I had groin injuries too. So you'd skate, you'd pull the muscle there. I actually just got off the ice like a couple hours ago, and sometimes man, just you take a stride too long, you get a knee on knee, that thing can kill. But I'm gonna steal a spotlight real quick. I know it's your show. You can cut me off
Oh,
if you
you're
want,
good.
but
It's your show.
shout out. I know I've said it 1,000 times. He's my hero and stuff. But shout out to my dad. I mean, he's watching the stream right now. He never misses anything I do, and he wants me to point out that I was 8 years old, maybe earlier, that I was watching fights. So there you go. Shout out to him.
Shout out to Papa Gordo. If he remembers what fight it was specifically that you guys watched that was your first fight, that would be great because that is actually one of my questions. What was the first fight you've ever
Oh,
watched?
I know a bunch of them. Again, GSP always, but again, the first fight I remember vividly. Like I can remember what's going on, what happened in the fight, every moment of it was that Jones Gustafson one. For some
Mm,
reason, that was like the big moment for me. But maybe he'll probably message me. He says GSP, so he's gonna throw in one here. Oh, look at that. He's
okay.
quick on it too.
Oh, he's on it. He's on it. Wait, is your dad? Did he comment? Is he Glenbot? Or is that someone completely different? No,
What's that? Sorry.
is your dad Glenbot 5000? Is
No,
that
he is not. No, he's not.
that would have completed it. Would have been like Glenbot, hop on the stream. That would be amazing. Bring your dad on here.
Oh, you're gonna expose me out here.
Yeah, dude, fighting, like my parents actually got into it when we started getting into it too. Like my mom actually got into the gambling part of it too. This past like 2 summers, she would come and visit every summer because they don't live with us. Um, and whenever she comes over, she watches us and she watches the fights, and she's like, "Well, this is the same exact phrase, Marty. Do you have any like bets that are safe, quote unquote safe?" I'm like, "What do you mean by safe?" She's like, "Ones that are not gonna lose." And I'm like,
Oh
"Okay,
no.
I wish, because I would just put my whole net worth on it." But
You
you
know
can
what?
bet on this guy. Her
For sure.
favorite
Go ahead.
was we had a oh her favorite one. This was this past summer, and it was against the man himself that I interviewed on my show. Askar Mazarov, we bet Alonzo Menafield inside
Menafield.
the distance, and she was going crazy. She was going crazy.
You know what, man? Shout out not only to my dad, but to my mom for what putting up with us watching fights every single weekend. I mean, she truly is the goat for putting up all that. It's not that she likes all the violence or the blood either, but she knows that Saturday night comes along, and I love her, man. I love both my parents. They've always been so supportive of everything I do. So a quick shout out to them. Getting emotional on the stream here with you. How about that?
Yeah, that's the best. And then we got Mushroom here saying, "I'm from Philly. We played stickball, halfies, freedom, knock knock, zoom zoom."
Oh, wow.
You're gonna have to explain to me the knock knock, zoom zoom. Is that like a ding dong ditch or
Ding dong
what
ditch.
is?
That's be my guess. Yeah.
Okay, that's my best guess. But man, stickball is one sport. Not, I mean, one game that I would have loved to play because it just sounds like it's fun. It's kind of like baseball. I never really played baseball when I was younger. We just used to like throw the ball and hit it with a bat, but no bases. I was
Okay.
always
Yeah.
more of like a basketball or soccer kind of person.
All right, fair play. I know I saw those kickboxing videos. Is that something new, or you've been doing that for a while?
Kickboxing I've been doing for a while. Like I picked it up when I was like 16, 15, when I was back home, and I just ran away with it. Stopped for a couple of years, and up until this year is where I picked it back up, or late last year is when I picked it back up, and it's just a work in progress. And now I'm like all into the jujitsu, dude. I love
Yeah,
the jujitsus. It was
you know
only
what?
my freaking second class yesterday,
I
and
saw
I'm
the
like
gi.
I'm all about it. I'm trying to be Liam here.
Oh, I don't know if we'll get there, man, but no, Liam's great. I think for me, hockey was my life. I was playing it every single day. If I wasn't playing, I was, training for it, practice all the time, high level. And then as soon as that goes, I'm here. I'm in school, university. I can't play that anymore. I'm trying to fill the void with playing other leagues, and I'm in a few leagues that I still play. I'm still trying to get that practice in. I got a buddy who, a really good buddy of mine, who texts me all the time. Goes, "Do you want to go try out this jiu-jitsu gym? It's not far from our place. Should we go?" And I think about it, man. I really should.
You should,
I
dude.
should.
It's so fun. You wouldn't realize how, I'm not gonna say easy, but how familiar you actually are just because you've watched tape for so long and just because you've been watching fights for so long. Because the coach would be, or sensei, however he would be referred to, because you say both, he would be showing the class a certain escape or a certain mount. I'm like, oh, so you have to do this first. And he's like, how'd you know that? I'm like, I watch fights
Tape.
a lot.
Mackenzie Dern.
Mackenzie Dern. Dude, I've been geeking out on like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, like belt promotion videos on YouTube, like 30-minute long videos of just some dude trying to get another stripe on his black belt, and I'm just geeking on it. And yesterday I go
There's
into practice, and coach is like, "Where'd you learn all this from?" I'm like, I've been geeking out on these videos, hitting like a bow and arrow choke." And he's like, "Wait a second, this is a little bit too advanced. Not right now."
Man, that'd be fun for sure.
You should, dude. Honestly, I don't think you'd regret it, but it might take away from your hockey because you're just gonna be like double the amount of soreness.
Yeah, luckily I'm not doing it at too high of a level anymore. I can afford it.
It's worth it. Now, what I know we got into the side of getting into martial arts, but what got you into the Twitter space of it, like the Twitter aspect of like, okay, tweeting out your bets or just analyzing fights as a whole?
So the story how I got into betting as a whole was I've always loved watching fights and sports and stuff like that, but I wasn't anticipating betting on them at all. And really, what would happen would be I put $5 in a DraftKings account with my best friend here, Kiro, the guy who's usually in the videos with me. Put $5 in a DraftKings video. We would go head to head. We just play head to head hockey, head to head. And I took all his money. I'm like, this is fun. One day, put a $5 entry in on basketball, some tiers lineup, and I hit the 10K grand prize. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. Maybe I'll do this. So ever since, I've been kind of like, I've never put in my own money because I've won all this cash from DraftKings, and I kind of evolved from there. I was able to put my MMA knowledge to the test and really do MMA DFS, and everywhere from doing that and then getting into betting fights of my own. I had a great 2019. I had an amazing 2019 where I made a very good amount of money doing so. And I realized, well, if I'm going to do this and my friends are going to text me, oh, what are you going to bet on? Well, why not make a Twitter? Why not interact with everybody else doing it? Because I'm a people person. I love talking to people, right? So with all that great success, I was able to turn into a Twitter account. Started off with purely DFS, and I've evolved into the betting part of things and meeting great minds like you. Liam met me when I had like 150 followers, like people out there who have been able to stay with me the whole way. It's been really cool to see the progression because when I first made my Twitter account and I searched up, okay, who do I want to be? I'm going to go, hey, UFC predictions. You know who pops up? It's going to be Dogger Pass. It's going to be Die Hard MMA with Clint. It's going to be all these people who now I'm interacting with. And it's been really cool to take my love and knowledge for the sport and share it with everybody else.
Yeah, and I feel a similar way where getting into the Twitter space is always okay, looking up random people and you're just seeing what they post, see what they think, watch their videos on YouTube, their content, and you always have that tickle or that itch. It's like, why don't I do this? Like everyone can do it. It's just taking the initiative and actually going for it, which took me a while, and just making a show in general. It is a big jump, but once you get into the groove of things, it becomes really fun. and you get on guests, you get to know a lot more people, and now you all of a sudden you know people all across the globe. It's crazy. Like Mushroom
Yeah,
said, iron sharpens iron. You're right.
and you know what, man, is I've always been a conservative better, right? Like I'm still trying to put myself through school, right? So I don't want to go head over heels for all this. So when I do something, I set my mind to it, I'm gonna do it the best I can. Like I'm doing my full tape research immediately, and I'm realizing if I'm putting in this much work doing my tape research, doing my notes, why can't everybody have it, right? Why can't I share it? So the YouTube actually wasn't even my idea. It was my friend's Kirod's idea to do the YouTube, and now it's kind of transitioned into more so my channel. But it was him giving me that boost to start betting, him giving me that boost to start the YouTube, and I really appreciate him for that. And I think that it's really not only grown like what I like to do and me as a content creator, but me as a person too. I feel like it's improved my communication skills. I went to full French school. Like speaking English on these videos is kind of funny, but I think it's been a lot of fun, and I look forward to it every week. So I really enjoyed getting into the space.
Yeah, it's definitely a game changer for most. Whether you're just looking at people's bets or just looking at their content, or you're actually contributing yourself, everyone plays a part in the community. And uh, I think when I first started, I had the nerve. What's the feeling? What not feeling? What's the word I'm looking for? It's the fear of giving out a losing bet was
Yes.
was my thing. It was like, oh, I don't want to lose anyone money. I don't want to just give out these a bunch of different bets and they all lose one night. And at the end of the day, I'm like, people are grown ups. They can make their own decisions if they want to
Oh, they
tail or
can.
not. So
You
wait,
have to.
do this. Go ahead and give the people the numbers. Flex on them a little bit. 2019, 2021, or however long you've been betting, if you can. Just MMA units up to till date each year.
So I tracked everything on Action, which I guess isn't as reputable as Bet MMA Tips. So according to Bet MMA Tips, in this year of 2022, I'm only up 70 and stuff like I think 70 units in 2022.
Only.
Um, I'm according to my Action, which again isn't that reputable. So take this at your own volition. I'm at over 200 units on here
Oh wow.
for the years before that. So again, like I said, conservative better. So I'm not out here making thousands of dollars every time. But you know, my bet size started off at $10. Now
Hmm.
it's a bit bigger than that. But I've been fortunate enough to have decent success throughout the years. And now that I'm tracking Bet MMA Tips, it is really cool to see my progress, like my ROI. Right now, I just hit the 500 units bet this year, 11%. I'll take that all day.
Yeah, you're beating the stock market, that's for sure.
Yeah. And we got
Invest
one
in
sec.
Gordo.
Yeah, dudes. Stocks are one thing I gotta get into way more. I got some buddies help me out with that, but I'm seeing B Man in the chat here saying, "Ben, don't vraiment pas
Yeah,
d'accent
I was about to say,
franco-ontarien."
translate that for us.
He's pretty much saying I don't have an accent and I'm representing franco-ontarien, and I really am. You know, je peux aller parler en français toute la journée si tu veux sur ici sur mon like all these other things I could talk about here. And I'm not really going to confuse you too much, but je te vois. I see you. I would
Shout
love to
out to
speak
B
French in
Man.
one of these shows sometimes. It'd be great.
Shout out to B Man. And we have Mushroom here saying, I've been honing my skills by watching guys like you. I appreciate all your time and hard work. Mushroom, you've been killing it yourself. I see those parlays every weekend you've been hitting. You're on a bit of a roll yourself, so keep up the good work. That is crazy. Have you
Love
seen the
mushroom.
parlays he's been hitting the past like 3, 4 weeks?
Yeah, and I think so. You know what I do is I make the mistake of telling him these parlays, and then sometimes I won't even enter it myself. And he texted me. I gave him one on the Dana White Contender Series on Tuesday, and it cashed, and I had no idea he cashed without me. So no, Mushroom's great. So I'll shout out to you. He actually just sent me a bet slip of him locking in a parlay I just gave him on my channel.
Sick, sick. Hopefully it catches for the both of you guys. And this time you have to do it.
And I did do it. I did. I locked that in immediately.
So, Gordo, do you have a specific fighter that you enjoy watching the most, or like a favorite fighter? It could be multiple, like in each division.
I have it here. I've always been a Max Holloway fan and
Okay.
basic guy. I love the guy. Super entertaining. He has the ability to withstand damage. He's always in entertaining fights. And of course, that last Volkanovski fight wasn't the prettiest, but no, Max Holloway has always been the go-to guy. I've really fallen into the love of the new age, like the guys who are gonna go out there and just grapple, like the Cosmots are so
Yeah.
entertaining to watch. I know Bo Nickel's gonna be insane to watch. You know, he's already minus 2,000 against Jamie Pickett. What's going on? But no, those guys are gonna go out there and keep a frantic pace the whole time. I'm really a fan of them too. So, and also those people who are interacting with you on Twitter, they're always fun to watch as well. So, Max Holler's always been the favorite fighter. Um, I could talk forever about people I like to watch and support in the UFC, but it's always been Max Holly's been the number one for me.
Okay, and you know what? You said basic when you referred to that. I wouldn't say basic. Max Holloway
It's a
is
very
a
popular
legend of
opinion.
the sport. Popular, but you know what? Rightfully so. I mean, the guy has put in his work. He has absolute wars that I would watch over and over again, like the Volk fights. Those in its own are some of the best fights out there. And damn, I
Insane,
don't think
man.
we'll see a lot of people that are like Max Holloway in the near future. Um, it's sad to say that, but he's such a good striker.
You know what? One day his chin's gonna crack too, and I'm gonna be heartbroken. So hopefully you're
And I
there for
thought it
me.
was going to be the last fight, to be honest. I sprinkled a little bit on bulk KO there.
All right, here's a question. Appease my biases here. Did he win that second fight?
No,
No, I thought he did, man. I thought he did.
and that could be because I mean, Volkanovski's my favorite fighter.
Oh no.
I've been following Volk since probably 4 or 5 years ago. I went to one of my first UFC. Actually, it was my first UFC pay per view. It was like 30 minutes for me. Volk was fighting Chad Mendez, right? Yeah,
Yep. He
Chad
got
Mendez.
stunned
It was
early.
the Gustafson 2, Jones Gustafson 2 that night. And
Okay.
holy shit, I was all the way like front row pretty much because no one was in the arena early, and I was there from the first fight. I took someone's seat for a little bit, and I was watching that fight front row, and I was like, "This guy is an absolute animal, and I need
Beast.
to start following him a little bit more closely." And that's
Did you see
exactly
that
what I did.
zero? Did you see that nerfy you just hit? Sorry, I had to point that out.
Yeah, I have it in the screen right here.
Oh, you do have it. Ah.
I have to have it. Yeah, my brother
And
has
I know
been
you guys
texting me
all
like, "You hit it."
Oh, for sure. I know you guys all know because you are following Wiz already, but if you guys are from my channel, you don't know who Wiz is. This is the nerfy king. No run first inning, man. This is how I'm able to make these degenerate parlays with mushroom is because the side change from Wiz is insane.
Shut out. Shut out.
There
No,
we
it's
go, dude.
today was all right. We went 1 for 1. There wasn't, like, too many on the slate today that I was really, like, excited about. The first one was kind of a bummer to not hit, but oh well, it happens. Yesterday, we went 4 and 1, which was crazy. Yesterday was one of those days where I had that thought that I was referring to earlier where, do I put out all these nerfies that I really like a lot and
Would you
risk
hold back?
all of them losing and, I don't know, losing people a lot of money? Because now I got in the space, like not to toot my own horn, but I'm a little bit more known for the nerfies and stuff like that. But if I put all these out and they don't hit, I'm kind of costing people. But luckily we went 4 and 1, so I thank the Lord.
You know what it is, man? It's when people start sending you slips of like them betting more than you're putting on the bet yourself. It's like I used to put out I no longer am doing this because DraftKings said it's illegal to do, but I used to post full DraftKings lineups and I would just say, "This is what I'm playing. Play it for yourself." So whenever I'd play it in like a single entry contest, and then everybody else would play it as well. And I have people just send me screenshots of them entering it for like in these like $550 contests, and I'm just like, I put like $25 on this lineup. And of course, like I'm max entering a lot of these tournaments and stuff, but usually for different amounts of money. But man, like respect to the people who have the courage to tail people that much. But no, I know that when you're in the space as much as you know what me, I am, you are, Mushroom is, you're able to find those people you trust. And with the nerfies, there's no one who even comes close.
Yeah, no, you're spot on because it's tough. It's tough being in this space and like having that feeling of everyone's looking at your tweets and they're looking to tail. But you know, it's part of the game. Everything has its pros and cons at the end of the day.
You know what, man? I have a question for you. I know this is your show, but let's get into the
Dude,
Wiz
no,
personality
this is
pick.
not my show, it's our show. Let's
All
put
right,
it this
man.
way. With all the
Here's
guests,
a
it's
question
our
for
show.
Wiz. Are you superstitious
About what specifically?
about betting and stuff? Here's an example. I have that one friend that I mentioned that helped me build the channel. He can't win a bet to save his life. Whatever he bets on is cursed, and therefore I'm superstitious. So if I'm on a losing streak, I'm not giving him my bets anymore. Do you ever let other people like superstitions or like a guy who goes on the no bet list kind of thing? Are you ever superstitious about that, or is it just facts?
For a while I was, especially with tennis, and this is why I've shied away from betting tennis anymore. There was this one guy who was a minus 700 favorite, and my dumbass put him in a parlay just to get an extra like 20, $30 because I was
Who was
greedy.
he?
Because I was really greedy. His name was Karen Hachanov. I still
Yes, yeah,
remember it till
rationally.
this day. He played like absolute booty against someone who just like had his first like ATP point, and he lost. And in my head, like the thoughts going in my head, and that was a pretty big parlay. I was pretty confident on everyone. It was one of those juice boy parlays that I'm notorious for. Even in the UFC, I have like a juice boy parlay for this weekend. It's just me. I always do this. But it was one of those. Unfortunately, he'd lost and he was on the no bet list. And yeah, he has then come to haunt me once in the U.S. Open. But I've shied away from betting tennis. It's a lot. Here's the one similarity I put to tennis. It's really similar to UFC in the point where it's just a single player sport. So you're
Yep.
relying on that one player to show up. But the issue is they can be heavy favorites. They can have the experience advantage. But the only issue is that these guys are playing almost day in, day out. They could be tired. They could have lingering injuries that we don't know about. They have a lot of that stuff, mental aspects, like their day-to-day life, that it affects them at a higher variance rate than in the UFC because UFC fighters only have that one fight every 3-4 months, if that. But tennis, they play, yeah, like
There's a
twice, three times
mental
a
aspect
week.
too,
It is.
like
It
you
is a
get in
mental
people's
aspect.
heads. I know we've had our fair share of, what Sappy talks about appreciating family members, but my dad and I play tennis all the time. That's his sport.
Mhm.
He grew up playing tennis. He's very good at it. He can just mess with me all the time. Like no matter how, like I'm a decent athlete. Like I'm able to play pretty well. Oh, he's just gonna get in my head. Like thinking he's gonna drop it, and no, he's just gonna smash it all the time. And I've never been able to beat him. He's always been able to beat me, even with a hurt shoulder and stuff. But that's like one sport where it's not only just like skill athleticism, but there's a mental aspect too. So betting on sports like that is like my favorite tennis player is Shapo, but he's such a hothead, right? So
Mhm.
Denis Shapovalov is so it's tough for you to bet on him because sometimes he's just not in the game. So I know Mushroom saying scared money don't make money, but sometimes I'm scared, man. Like I need to really get away from that narrative, but
It
we're still
happens.
conservative better. Yep.
It happens, and I mean, I feel like everyone faces the scared money don't make money. It's kind of like when you're the question I asked you before we went on stream about a certain fight, which we'll get into when we do our pick'em section. It's one of those things where it's whenever you're betting on a fight that's lined that closely, and two fighters that after you watch tape, you feel like it could go either way. It's like, damn, should I even be betting on this? Do I want to? But you feel strongly about a certain side, but at the same time, it's like, okay, why are they lining this so close? And that's
Yeah.
where the scared money don't make money thing conversation comes up. So you don't really know what to do, and you're doubting every single life choice that you're making in that 1 minute.
Yeah. I've been doing that with like the splits. Like if I see everybody on one side, I'm like, okay, is this too easy? Like, what am I missing here? So I got to get past that.
Hmm. That actually happened to me in this the football game that's starting in like 10 minutes. The I'm like, is this too easy? The public's all on one side. It's very apparent who it is, the Bengals.
Bengals. Yep.
But also it's just like, I don't know. The team's injured on the other side. They're tired after that huge game against the Bills. Sorry for your Bills.
Sorry.
If you guys didn't
So
know, Gordo is a huge Bills fan, and that game against the Dolphins was brutal, brutal.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, yeah. I feel for you.
You know, we
But yeah,
we we had a war room. Like we were talking about it, right? Like we went over every single game together. I told you right there, I don't like to bet on my favorite team because then I'm going to be sad that they lost. It's sad that I lost money as well. Remember what I said? I parlayed Yoel Romero with them to win. And I'm like, come on. Of course, the one time I actually bet on them, they lose.
yeah, I do remember that, and we have to do another one of those for this Sunday because pretty much everything we talked about hit except for Jefferson
Yeah, we went
anytime
on.
touchdown and the Raiders on my end.
And then mine, I didn't hit the over. The only bet I didn't hit were other than Eckler, which he tried to talk me off of, was the over on the Washington Philly game. So literally everything we agreed on hit. Everything we disagreed on, other than the Bears,
Hmm.
did not
Hmm.
hit.
Exactly. Yeah, no. Thankfully, I stayed away from that one. The
Yeah,
freaking Bears.
they pulled through. They pulled through.
They did, but they won't this week because they're playing the Giants. Oh, the New York Police Department, NYPD. They won't.
All
I
right,
won't. I
dude.
won't be
We'll talk
betting
about
that.
it for sure.
Cool. Well, speaking about the pick'em for this UFC card, let me go ahead and share my screen so we
Okay.
can look at these fights and really give the people what, or most people, what they kind of want to see. Share screen. I'm a noob when it comes to StreamYard, so it takes me like 3 minutes. Oh no, the browser can't
What
access your
happened?
screen. Well, I think I'm just gonna name the fights out instead of showing up the order. But first fight, Randy Costa against Guido Canetti. You can give a method. You can give just a prediction. You're putting on glasses. I'm putting on glasses.
Do
Don't
you know what these
leave me out.
glasses mean, Wiz?
Come
You
on,
mean, right? You know what they mean? Do
it's go time.
you know what these
It's
glasses are, though?
no, maybe
These are the
yes.
lock of the night glasses, man.
Oh yeah, the lock of the night glass. How did I forget? Oh, shame on me. Shame on
These
me.
are we're taking violence in the first fight. I don't care how it happens. It's probably Costa in the first 4 minutes or Canetto in the next 4 minutes. Either way, give me the under, give me violence. The pick is going to be Costa round one, but I'm not going to bet it really because it's like minus 120. It's not
Yeah,
pretty. I
yeah.
know
No,
Mushroom's
I
there with
agree.
Canetti. Him and Lou are on Canetti round two, and I kind of want to, but
It's too
just
juiced of
give
a number.
violence.
Not like there's a lot of meat on that bone, and it's
There
very,
is.
very probable outcome. Let's face it, it's very probable. And I kind of agree. Costa round one. Although when I was on Pat's stream yesterday, I did say that I think he might finish him in the second round. I think Costa might have a little bit more patient approach, but
Oh, please
history,
no.
the history says that Randy Costa wins his fights in the first round. So I'm gonna stick with that. All right, next fight we have Julia Stolyarenko against Chelsea Chandler. What do you got?
Um, I didn't want to pick a money line side of things, but out of principle, I do have a half unit shot on Stolyarenko by submission. I think Chandler just barges into the clinch too much. The girl's got 9 wins by armbar. Like that's probably what's going to happen. So the pick is going to be Stolyarenko, however, with not enough confidence.
Okay, yeah. So far we're 2 for 2, sharing the same interest. Stolyarenko sub is the prediction for me too. No actual bet on this fight though. I wouldn't put my money on it. Up next, this fight has been the talk of the town, talk of the Twitters. Grishin versus Lins.
Grishin, but again, Linz has potential that is untapped. Right? Like the fighter we saw of him in PFL does not exist anymore. But if that came back, he could pose a problem to Grishin. Unfortunately, I don't see that happening. I do think it's a Grishin by KO. I think he's got the much better striking, very heavy hands. I think he wins this fight.
We go 3 for 3 there,
Love
dude.
it.
I don't think it's close. I
You don't.
Philip Lins is someone I've been trying to fade. I tried fading him against Pragnio.
Didn't work.
I was wrong, and he almost had him in the third. But he should have put Pragnio away there. Pragnio has no chin. And yeah, give me Grishin KO. Yes, Mushroom, we're finally on the same side. And let's go. Grishin KO. And then another fight here that has been the talk of the Twitters. Brendan Allen versus Christoph Jotko.
Oh, this fight is John Co can leave. The pick is going to be Jotko. Gun to my head, I'm picking Jotko because he is the smarter fighter with more tools to win. However, I do think that Allen isn't getting enough credit. Like he's a good fighter. He's got like a lot of levels to his game. So the bet's going to be level. Allen finish only -160. That's the bet I'm going to make. But prediction is going to be Jotko by decision.
Yep.
Because I just don't think Jotko has any finish ability. So are you like -160 is that's the implied chances of Allen to get a finish here over Jotko. I think that it's more so Allen gets a finish like -400. Like, what are the odds of Jotko finishing Allen? Right. So
Slim none. I actually shouted
mm.
out this one. If you can find the Jotco decision only prop, that is
It's like
something.
-250 though, isn't it?
And you know what? Jocko decision only is worth the -250 because I see no way in hell Brendan Allen winning a decision. So that
And
to
why
me
is
is
that? See, I can make a little bit of reasoning for Allen winning a decision, but why do you think? Oh, it's
I
only
don't think
-175,
he'll
by the
be
way.
able to go with the. I don't think his grappling is going to work, especially against Jocko's efficient takedown defense. Dude's 82% takedown defense in his career, and it's a large sample size. It's not like it's a newbie in the UFC who only has 2 fights and has been like stopping these takedowns. He has a large sample size.
But do
So
you
I've
think
never really
that
rated his
Jotko?
wrestling.
Do you think that Jotko blows him away on the feet though?
Yeah, I don't
Really?
like I don't
Because
like Allen striking at all.
to me, Allen is the better offensive striker. I don't think he's the better defensive striker. There's no question about that. I just think that offensively, he's got his ability to keep it close. He's got his ability to like he's got good footwork in and out. But like the pick's going to be Jotko because I think he has an ability to mix in takedowns in his own right. Like I don't think that it's going to be Allen really going for the takedowns that often. It's going to be Jotko. So such an odd fight though, right?
Very odd, very odd. And I couldn't help but put this up. This cracked me up. Couldn't finish one of your lunches. That's for sure, Mushroom. I don't think I could either, to be fair. Next fight, we have probably the fight that hasn't been talked about at all this week. Joaquin Silva against Jesse Ronson.
Oh, this is the fight that everyone's talking about. This is the talk of the town for me. No? Am I am
Go
I
for it.
am I just talking to some you know what I know you wanna know what it is? It's the only
Tell me.
Canadian on the card. That's why I'm hearing about it so much.
I
Everyone's
knew
just like,
it. I knew it.
"Oh, the body snatcher's gonna come in and he's gonna knock him out." Jesse Rawson by KO is the official pick. I'm
Okay.
not gonna go too far to break down. I think it's gonna be a violent affair. I'm not liking the way that Silva's looking recently. 2 finishes to southpaw, 1 to Rick Glenn off a 4-year layoff, and 1 to Nasrat Haqparast. Not really good. But if the reason, like the bet here is the under. I'm all over the under. It's Lou's favorite bet of the night. I already have 2 units on it, just because in the back pocket of Silva is that BJJ. He's not going to use it, but he has that path to victory. But Ronson has that KO power. I think he gets him out of there. The only reason I'm not betting Ronson is because I'm going to have a lot of ownership on him on DraftKings.
Man, that's 4 for 4. I don't think they're gonna, or now 5 for 5 actually on this fight.
By the
Uh,
way, the parlay I gave out to Mushroom is 3 legs: Ronson KO, Jotko decision, and the under 1.5 in the Kennedy cost to fight plus 1800.
dude, I like that.
That's
I
pretty
really
nice.
like that. I'm actually
Oh,
gonna
oh.
take that myself. I'm
All
joining
right,
the
we're gonna
gang.
eat good with Mushroom. We're gonna eat good with Mushroom.
Mushroom just gonna have to tell me where he gets those lunches because that cardboard box is legendary. I see it every day. The cardboard box with all that food. I need me one of those kind of meals. Anyways, next fight we got Jessica Penne against Tabitha Ricci.
Baby Shark. I'm on
Decision.
Baby Shark here. You seeing decision?
I think
Yeah.
decision. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, that's the most likely outcome. I bet Ricci at -170. I got her earlier. I think she rolls here. Younger fighter, more youth, good takedowns. She might struggle with the get up game of Penny because she's very active from her back, but I think she gets her down more often, which leads to more DraftKings points. But no, give me Baby Shark here.
Sick. Beautiful. Beautiful. Same side. Next, we got the fight that's been rescheduled too many times. Alexei Oleinik against Ilir Latifi.
This is one that we should agree on because I hope we agree on this one. The pick is going to be Latifi, but you're cheering for Oleinik, right? Like you have to cheer for Oleinik.
The pick is Oleinik.
Is it? See, I
No
went.
bet.
I was in Columbus for UFC Columbus, and that was the fight that he was supposed to fight on, and then he like that fight got canceled 30 minutes before it
Uh,
started. And I was sitting there like, oh, I got to scramble with all these DraftKings lineups, and it was like it was awful. But I really want to see this fight because Olynyk is just like this creature to me. I don't know if you want to expose your age on here, but Lou and I were talking, and Olynyk had his first fight 5 years before I was born. So this man's been fighting for a while.
Wait, how old are you?
How old am I? I will be 21 next month. So
Okay.
I'm 20.
Yeah. Then he had his first fight a year before I was born. I'm 24. If
Okay.
I'm doing my math right. Am I?
Yeah, yeah, you're good. You're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And for
A year.
everybody who I've had people like, when Dan and I had that Chewy bet,
Mhm.
he's like, I don't think you're 21. Am I okay to repost this? Is this underage drinking? I go, no, we can drink way younger up here. So I'm the legal gambling age up here is I think it's like 18 years old. We're okay. I'm not breaking any laws.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Cool. This is going to be an interesting one because I want to hear what you have to say about this fight. Mike Davis against Slava Claus.
This is an if fight. If Davis wrestles, he'll win this fight. If it doesn't, there's no way you can favor Davis in a kickboxing bout that heavily. And like, so there'd be no bet on it for me because of the if factor. I just think that Davis is smart enough to wrestle, and therefore he wins the fight. So the pick's going to be Davis, however, with no conviction.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Fair enough. Yeah, I same analysis. I don't know if I'm going to be betting on it. Slava KO is kind of tempting though. Got to say
Is it?
plus
Yeah,
475.
Davis is hittable.
Yeah, plus 475 is very tempting. But we'll see. We'll see if I get to pull the trigger there. Next fight we have John Castaneda against Daniel Santos.
Castaneda. And this is the one fight that I am like on the ledge. I either need someone. Oh, I'd ask Lou. He didn't really help that much, I'll be honest. I love Lou, but he had to push me. He had to be more convicted about it. Either more than double your ages, Mushroom. Sorry, I had to read that. You know what, Mushroom? We love you. We'll help you out there. And
Expose yourself.
the
Show yourself on camera.
we are the new age, eh, man? Isn't that
Honestly,
wild?
yeah, we're gonna be on the tubes until we're on the tubes.
Yeah, but all right, back to this. This was the fight I was on the edge on. I really want to bet John Castaneda. And
Yeah.
I think he wins this fight at a high clip. I think he has the better mixed martial artist game. I think he has takedown upside. I think he has pressure forward. I think he's got good boxing, good durability. What Lou told me to was to wait after round one and live bet him. And I don't mind that. And Mushroom talked about this. Castaneda round 3 is there. So that's another look I'm looking at.
Yeah, I actually like the Lou live angle there because I think Daniel Santos is gonna come out with those flashy strikes, and he might sway the decision of the judges. He might actually win the first round, and then he just gasses out.
Well,
Not like death gas, but he just doesn't look anywhere close to the same speed.
I've been very honest on this stream, so I'll be honest to you too. I'm not watching the fights. I can't watch the fights.
I'm not.
Like, this is gonna be the first fights I miss in a long time. But again, I'm still in university, and it's homecoming this weekend. It's like this huge
Ooh.
football game, huge party gonna go on. So we don't know how much of the fights I'm actually gonna see. Like, I'll check my phone every once in a while, but I will not be able to watch them. So it's unfortunate.
Okay, I'll keep you updated. I got you.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I need that.
I'm gonna be at work watching them. That's for sure. Because they start
When do
at
they
1
start?
p.m. my time.
Oh, I might be able to watch a few of them before. Nah,
Yeah,
we'll
4
see.
your time.
Football game here is at 2, I think. So it's like a football
Oh,
game and a party after. So like
I
where
don't
I'm
think I'm gonna
from,
be able.
there's 2 universities in the same city. So we always just have like this huge rivalry week,
Hmm.
and it ends with this football game. So I think that I'll be missing a lot of them. So we'll see.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Now, next fight is going to be pretty quick. Sadiq Yusuf versus Don Shainis. Let me assume you're going to say Sadiq Yusuf.
Yes, but not with as much conviction as everybody else. I'm this
Okay.
close to betting the over. And I texted you. You were the first person I texted, and I said, "Am I stupid to bet money on Don Shanis?"
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I mean, I could see why at this price point, but it's just the level of competition is going from here all the way. Like I can't even fit it on the screen, all the way up. I don't know if I want
You want to know
to
what I'm?
touch it.
You want to know what I'm really proud of? Here's my comparison for this fight: Onama versus Armfield.
Hmm. Okay.
You know that
I
debutant
don't
coming
hate
in.
that. I don't hate that comparison, but also I think Sadiq Yusuf is a little bit like not a little bit, way more ahead than Onama.
Yes,
But at
I
the
know,
same time, I
but
see
everyone
where the comparison
expected
comes.
him to get him out for early, and then he survived. Then that over
Yeah,
1.5 hit there, so I'm probably gonna stay away from this fight. The pick is, of course, Sadiq Youssef, but we'll see.
fair enough. Next, we got Johnny Barcelos against Trevin Jones.
Barcelos, first bet I made of the week, -188, four
Let's go.
units deep.
Let's go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. I'm on there with you. I love Barcelos in this spot. It's
He's
the
good.
past two opponents he's faced where he's lost. It's against people who actually throw hands. This guy doesn't throw hands. He throws just a bomb here and there. Trevin Jones. He does
He
not
got
have
power.
volume. He has the power, but when you're as fast as Johnny Barcelos, I think you can step away from them and like dodge all those bombs.
I don't think Jones is going to win this fight. I just think Barcelos could lose this fight. It's Barcelos' fight to lose. He's the better fighter all around. The only way he loses this fight is either if he messes up huge or if he gets nuked.
Yeah, agreed. My prediction was the KO or decision, but I'm gonna lean towards decision.
Oh, be careful of the sub. Barcelos is talking about how he's becoming a brand new fighter, going back to his roots.
That's true. That might be an
He's a good
interesting one.
grappler.
He is. He's a third-degree black belt, and his dad's a coral belt. A coral belt is so hard to become. I think it's something like is it 20 or 30 years of being a jiu-jitsu black belt? I can't remember. It's one of those. But yeah, a
We got it.
coral.
I think he should grapple here.
Yeah, I think Jones is a fish out of water on the floor.
I think he has good wrestling, not the best grappling. Barcelos by sub is 600. Well, grateful dude. I am grateful you mentioned that because that'll go into some DGen parlays at
Yeah,
Mushroom.
thank you, sir. I appreciate that, grateful dude, and Mushroom for this prediction. All right, I'm glad we're on the same side there. Next, we have Randy Brown against Francisco Trinaldo. A lot of old people on this card.
Can't call them old, okay? Mushroom and Lou are here.
Older.
Older than us. Older for the UFC
Older than
standards. Brown. I haven't played it yet, but I think he wins this fight at a pretty high clip. Simple as that.
Yeah, I have him in this is the Juice Boy parlay of the week. The Randy parlay. Randy Brown. Randy
Costa, though.
I'm confident.
You bold man.
I'm a bold man. So
right. Okay.
I'm going to stick with it. I locked that one at good prices, though. I got minus 200 to 230 on each of them, so I can't really complain.
Okay.
And then we got the main event of the evening. The fan favorite, Mrs. UFC, Mackenzie Dern against Yan Xiaonan.
The reason that Mark Zuckerberg is going to be watching.
Exactly. The reason he wants this on the metaverse.
Dern.
Really?
She's improving every fight. I think it's Dern pretty heavy here. I think she's improving her wrestling, improving her striking. And I think she only needs one or two takedowns here. I think she's going to be able to control, dominate from top position. Her jiu-jitsu is next level, but it's her wrestling and striking that has to catch up. And I think she's doing just that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just don't know if I can trust the hands. I don't know if I can trust her wrestling either at this point. Because she gets the takedown in each fight, but she doesn't do anything with it. Her subs have come with pulling guard. I think Yan Xiaonan can stay out of trouble, and I think she can win, to be honest. I'm going to be on the money line side. Not too heavy, probably like a half unit shot. Double my money, plus 200. I'm not too against that. And I really like Yan Xiaonan's fight IQ and the strike is incredible. Like the striking affair she had with Marina Rodriguez really opened my eyes to how good she really is. And yeah, I'm hoping she can get it done.
All right.
Cool. Well, that's the end of the show. We went through a whole bunch of life on this one, and got that pick'em done. Gordo, the mic is all yours. Tell the people where they can find you, what you're up to, and what you have going on in your life.
You know what, man? This show may really make me feel like a grateful dude. So shout out to grateful dude in the chat. Grateful for everything that has led me to where I am now. Thank you, Frank, for this show and love as always. But thank you to grateful to meet people like you online. Grateful for the people supporting me in my life. Grateful for just where I am, and I'm very happy for that. But all that aside, you can find me on Twitter at Gambles Gordo, on YouTube at Plays and Fade Sports. I got a whole DFS breakdown out and a full card betting breakdown too. So a lot of content over there. Getting close to 2,000 subs. You're catching up to me. Or 2,000 followers on Twitter. So you're catching up to me there. But no, I really appreciate you for having me on. You have always been not only a super sharp bettor, but I know we really enjoy breaking down the fights. So he's just as nice off camera as he is on. So you should make sure to show Wiz some love. Hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. He does great work.
I appreciate it, brother. And if you guys aren't following Gordo yet, what are you guys doing? Go follow him on Twitter. Go follow him on YouTube. Subscribe, like all his videos, watch all his stuff, because the guy's a sharp bettor. Really good opinions and insight on all the sports that he bets on. So without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back next week, next Thursday, as always, with another episode. See you.
Bills Mafia.